What is up guys, it's your boy Solam here, back with another classic WoW news update. So as we are creeping closer and closer to the official launch of the official hardcore service and patch 1.14 point something, basically the brand new patch for classic WoW era, we have some updates coming, where Blizzard have been posting some updates in the last couple of days, actually just yesterday. Now, this is not just for hardcore, it's classic era as a whole. There's two separate updates, one for classic era talking about some features for the PvP update system, and also one talking about some hardcore features, mainly surrounding the Mak-Gora system, which is the duel to the death system. So today we're taking a look at those updates. Now real quick before that happens, I want to ask you guys, when do you think this patch is coming out? Basically, when do you think the official hardcore servers are coming out? Because the patch and the hardcore servers are supposed to come out at the same time, so let me know your guesses in the comments down below. With that being said, let's take a look at the news for today. So here we go, let's start this off with the hardcore features right here. Hardcore features coming in a future PTR update for WoW Classic. So, Blizzard has shared some new features coming to hardcore realms in a future update to the public test realm. This includes a new coward debuff. This is something I talked about in a previous video and also on stream, where I said that leaving or forfeiting a Mak-Gora was way too easy, and I wanted to see a punishing system. Now I mentioned verbally the coward debuff, and it functioning kind of like a resurrection sickness, which is basically what it looks like right here as well. Now, an increase to the duel to the death area and options for guild deaths in the chat window. That is a really good news, a really huge quality of life feature right there. So with today's new PTR build, while today's new PTR build is mostly focused on bug fixes, we want to share some other adjustments that we are working on for Classic Era 1.14.4. We plan to test a coward debuff for players who flee a duel to the death. We are adding a bespoke logic to this debuff to help ensure that you cannot gain it while under the effects of crowd control. So basically, you can't get this if a warlock fears you, or a priest just mind controls you out, but the coward debuff decreases all attributes by 20%, all damage caused also decrease by 20%, armor and resistance also decrease by 20%, and it seems like it has a 3-day duration right here. I kind of wish this was either permanent or a 7-day duration or something, but it's better than nothing, and it will give people a punishment for fleeing a duel to the death. Now this debuff is meant to be incredibly punishing, and I guess it is. It could be more punishing as well, but it's okay. We are also planning to increase the total duel area for duels to the death, meaning it will be harder to flee by fearing or mind controlling, right? We are also making adjustments to guild death messages. Death alerts will be customized or disabled in the configuration options for chat windows. So right here you have system messages, errors, ignored, channel, target icons, Blizzard alerts, and also guild deaths. I think this is a huge quality of life increase, and it's basically how it worked on the classic era with the add-on, right? Where you could have messages pop up both in guild chat and as something that happened on the center of your screen, showing when someone in your guild actually died, and it's going to be somewhat similar right here as well. Guild deaths will display the creature that killed the character and the zone or area that they died in. If the player died to environmental damage, only the zone will be shown, and for those of you who have been using the add-on on Classic Era, it's basically exactly that, but only the part that's in guild chat, right? We are working on a new unique sounds for the duel to the death challenges, guild deaths, and level 60 server announcements. Now this one is really cool, like when someone gets to level 60 on a server, everyone will know with a yellow message in the general chat. We are going to test making PvP trinkets from rank 2 of the honor system, available on hardcore realms from a vendor for a moderate gold cost, without requiring ranking. This is something they talked about in the past, it's something I've seen online as well, where people have been asking, Are you going to be able to get these trinkets on the hardcore realms when you can't rank? And yes, you will. You can literally buy the PvP trinkets from a vendor, so they will still be there. You just don't have to do any PvP to actually get them. But those trinkets are pretty vital to Classic WoW. They're not just used for PvP, but definitely for arenas and for the duel to the death. They are very important. This one right here, very subtle, very small, but very good change. Now, the second piece of news we have for today is patch 1.14 development notes for WoW Classic, surrounding mainly the PvP system right here. So Blizzard has updated the development notes for patch 1.14.4, which is currently being tested on the WoW Classic public test realm. A very welcome change for Battlegrounds is the addition for the preparation spell before the Battleground commences, as well as terrain adjustments to Warzone Gulch to prevent players from reaching out of bound areas. Now, this last one is pretty game changing when it comes to especially Warzone Gulch, where specifically Druids, but also many other classes and players and different races could get to different places of the battleground that was very difficult to get to. So now there's going to be invisible walls placed there so you can't go to out of bounds areas. Now, for PvP and Battlegrounds, first of all, added a preparation phase to the beginning of the Battleground matches in Arthur Basin, Warzone Gulch and Ultra Valley. During this preparation phase and before the gates open to begin the Battleground, the mana cost of all abilities is reduced by 100%, giving you the ability to buff yourself, buff your team, and just get ready for a battle. Developers' notes right here is we would like to encourage teams to buff each other during preparation, and this should help with that. Additionally, we have disabled the Blink spell in preparation. Blink is notorious for being able to allow mages to get into tricky places, and this sometimes includes tricky places such as outside the base before the match starts. Pretty good change right here as well. They also made additional adjustments to terrain in Warzone Gulch to prevent players from reaching unintended areas, and the effective honor cap for the week has been adjusted to 500,000 honor. So basically, this is how many honor points you can farm in 1 week and get credit for. Please note that this is only a PTR value right now, and they may make additional adjustments to this value before the live launch of 1.14.4. Now, the previous cap was 700 or 750, I think, so this is a pretty big reduction in honor points, which also reduces the time you have to put in to reach your weekly cap for that week. Now, it could go down even further, but I believe 500,000 sounds about right. If anyone used to rank back in Classic WoW, please let me know in the comments down below how many hours of ranking this would mean. 500,000 honor. There's a couple of small changes as well to the UI, so the reset button on the auction house UI is now in the appropriate location. They also fixed an issue that caused changes to floating combat text settings to not update until you reload your UI, and they fixed an issue that allowed add-ons to bypass the duel to the death contract, and they fixed additional miscellaneous issues with the target of target frame. This one was pretty annoying on the PTR, so pretty good change, but then again, it's just a fix for the PTR. So yeah, small fixes right here, but for the majority here, this number being taken down from 750 to 500 is pretty huge. Also, putting in invisible walls to prevent players from reaching unintended areas, specifically in Warzone Gulch, pretty big change as well, and giving us the preparation phase is pretty huge, especially if you join the battleground late, or if you join like right before it's about to start. You can still buff people without needing to sit down and drink to get your mana back. So even if you join 15 seconds before the battleground begins, you have the time to buff everyone in your team, and you don't get out of mana by doing so. Now, these changes might seem like small changes, but to me, they actually feel quite significant, both for the hardcore servers, the PTR, and also for the honor system as well. They do feel quite significant, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with them. At the end of this video, I also want to shout out my Classic WoW gold making guide real quick. This one is specifically made and tailored to the hardcore servers, but will also be relevant to an eventual fresh Classic WoW launch, and also Season of Mastery 2. It has 134 pages covering farming the best gold farms, over 50 different gold farms in Classic WoW. There's some very hidden ones like secret gold farms, there's some pretty good ones, there's class specific gold farms, there's also the best investments like how I made 1,000 gold and turned that 1,000 gold into 20,000 gold, giving myself 20 times return on my investment in Classic WoW back in Season of Mastery, and I'm intending to do the same thing on hardcore servers too. I personally believe that gold is going to be incredibly valuable on the hardcore servers, like the amount of gold you have and the consumables you have directly increase your survival, because you can have health potions, mana potions, swiftness potions, limited invulnerability potions. There's so many consumables that will directly help you out for survival in hardcore that I just think gold will be incredibly valuable, and the amount of gold you have can literally save your life. Plus, I enjoy making and farming gold in the game, so if you're like me and you want to make gold, farm gold, or simply have gold to increase your survival, check out the gold guide through the link down below. You can also get it for half price by using the code Solheim to give back to you guys, because this is a guide in a public store, but if you're going to that store from my YouTube channel, you can get it for half price by being a supporter of my content. That's pretty much what I have for you today though. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the news. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like, leave a sub. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.